Hey, 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 we're live and it is Friday, right? And here we are, the 28th of August, and it's Freeform Friday. This is Mark Gassard, Mark's Message, broadcasting live from the peachiest place on the planet, Peachtree Corners, Georgia. So glad to be here, grateful to be here. Had a wonderful evening last night as I spoke and had a chance to get to know really from an in-depth perspective. Brian Monahan, outstanding man. He wrote Customer Delight 365. Really enjoyed that last evening. Hope everybody else did out there. And with that, since it's Freeform Friday, we're going to talk about a couple things. First one we're going to talk about is, like leadership. What is it? What's it all about? You know, how's that rock and roll? But before we get into all that fun stuff, because I have quotes as well, I'm going back to the quote. I have to give the shout outs. So here we go. The Grow Live Nation, emerging sales winners, diehards, Megamind, Eric Bam, I would like to be a member, but you said you're full, and I kiddingly said to you earlier today, full of what? So anyway, just kidding, just kidding. So if you got a spot, love to. And we're going to talk about is the juice worth the squeeze and a couple other things of that nature. But let's get into leadership. When we talk about leaders, like, what type of leader are you out there? And anybody that wants to hop on board, please do. I'd love to hear your input because I do have some quotes from some very, very deep thinkers out there that I think you'll appreciate these quotes from different walks of life, vocations, and I think you'll find it quite interesting indeed. And then, if what type of leader are you? Here's my question. So, where do you get your source from? What is your sphere of influence on leadership? And what principle do you embrace or principles do you embrace when you talk about leadership? Do you think a leader has to be the type of person that's very engaging, inspiring, demanding, commanding, or do they earn it? And there's a lot of ways to look at that. Do they promote growth and development? Do they allow people that work with them when they're sharing their vision to get out of the way and let them manage and do their thing? So, I mean, there are all sorts of forms of leadership out there. Some people, military is a little bit different, and I understand that concept. But out here in the business world, how do you lead? And even when I say that, if you're a parent, how do you lead? With your spouse, your children, your significant other, your brother or sister, an aunt, an uncle, how that all comes into play. You know, how do you present yourself to others from a leadership perspective? So, what I'm going to do is put a couple things up here. And, as I was ranting, and once again, just to remind everybody, Mark's Message, peachiest place on the planet, Peachtree Corners. So, what I'm going to do here, I want to share this one with you. And I think you'll find this most interesting from this particular person. I'm not going to tell you who because you'll be able to read it and we can get into it. But it goes something like this: Labor disgraces no man. Unfortunately, you occasionally find men who disgrace labor. And here we go. Take a look at it. That's by our 18th president, Ulysses S. Grant, and our commanding general back in the day when there was a North and a South, even prior to that. But I find that one qu- quite amusing when you think about it, when you break it down, when he says, Labor disgraces no man. Unfortunately, you occasionally find men who disgrace labor. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting perspective, I think. So that's one way of looking at things. And then here comes another one. I'm going to take that out of here. This one I found interesting. The most confident critics are generally those who know the least about the matter criticized. I'll read that again. The most confident critics are generally those who know the least about the matter criticized. And once again, I have to share this with you. And it is by our 18th president, Ulysses S. Grant. Another good one. Makes you think because it's easy to be critical of anybody in a leadership position. And Lord only knows what it's like to be the commander in chief of the free nation here. Couldn't even fathom it. But the person that's doing that right now, the easiest thing to do is to criticize any president, of our country. So, try it sometime. I mean, those guys are on demand 24/7. Moving along, as we're talking about things about leadership and leaders. And if anybody's out there, feel free to throw in your version of leadership or a quote. I'd love to hear it. Now, everybody knows this individual, and he's a trainer. Okay, I'm going to pull this one back now. And I know you're going to know this, and I'll read it first. A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. And some of you that are coaches or have taken leadership courses currently right now, I know you know who this person is. John Maxwell. A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. So I wanted to share that with you as well. Always a good one. He always has great quotes, makes you think within yourself. So those of you who are Maxwellites, I'm sure you appreciated that. I always like showing this one. When I lost my excuses, I don't know who came up with this. I found my results. And I think that's applicable to all, whether you're trying to start your own business, take a course, better yourself self-improvement wise, or it could be physically, hitting the gym, taking a walk, doing things with your spouse that you should be doing, having conversations with people, just being a better overall person, and thinking about other people. I could go on and on and on, but I love that. When I lost my excuses, I found my results. So that's cool. And now we're going to move right along. This one, I know some of you will know who this is, but I'm going to read it first before I put it on the ticker. There is no investment you can make which will pay you so well as the effort to scatter sunshine and good cheer through your establishment. So let's take a look at it. Who said that? So there is no investment you can make which will pay you as well as the effort to scatter sunshine and good cheer through your establishment rather. Orson Swett Martin, that's another deep thinker, Mr. Positivity, always coming up with some good things there. That's where a lot of these guys, Napoleon Hill, got their information from back in the day. But he's a good one to read up on. If you ever get any of his books, check them out. They're pretty awesome, and they're pretty cheap right now. You can go on Amazon and find them. So here's another one, and this is someone you may not even know of. I mean, when I say that would come up with this type of thought in leadership. To handle yourself, use your head. To handle others, use your heart. Let me read that again. To handle yourself, use your head. To handle others, use your heart. Now, we weren't around at this time, but during the time of our nation, Eleanor Roosevelt, I thought that was a very inspiring quote when you break it down about leadership. To handle yourself, use your head. To handle others, use your heart. Pretty good sound advice there. Simple. And, doesn't always have to be a general. It doesn't always have to be some humongous business mogul. But I thought Eleanor Roosevelt, great quote. So there you go. And here comes our next one. I love this one. And some of you may not know who this is. Seriously. Others, if you've read books by this individual, you will pick it out like that. A leader is a man who can adapt principles to circumstances, because this guy was a man of few words. A leader is a man who can adapt principles to circumstances. We can go back to World War II. He's probably one of the greatest generals we had. He was totally about winning, and I'm talking about General George Patton. So, a leader is a man who can adapt principles to circumstances. You would think that would come from him. So, I thought that was quite the unique quote from Patton himself. So, here's another one. As I'm going through here on this Freeform Friday, just sharing quotes. I know you're going to know who this is because a lot of you read and you've read his books, but the man who wavers in his decisions shows that he is not sure of himself. He cannot lead others successfully. Let me read that one again. The man who wavers in his decisions shows that he is not sure of himself. He cannot lead others successfully. And that is the truth. And when you're talking truth, you're talking Napoleon Hill. There it is. And you can see behind me the book Truthful Living. It's full of quotes. Very good piece of reading literature back there. So I just thought that was a great one to show. The man who wavers in his decision shows that he is not sure of himself. He cannot lead others successfully. Napoleon Hill. And I know you'll guess this one, some of you, because we're kind of going down that road. The successful leader must be in sympathy with his followers. Moreover, he must understand them and their problems. That's pretty cool, you know. And there you go. Once again, Napoleon Hill. The successful leader must be in sympathy with his followers. Moreover, he must understand them and their problems. And it's about being engaging with people. That's what that means to me. And don't look down on those that work with you. If you have your own business for you, whatever the case may be, but I always say we're in a partnership, and that's the way you got to roll, because you can't think like I'm up here and you're down here, that type of thing. It doesn't work, particularly today. You're going to hit the wall. But I thought that was a great quote. And here's another one. Without a sense of fairness and justice, no leader can command and retain the respect of his followers. Excuse me. Without a sense of fairness and justice, no leader can command and retain the respect of his followers. Once again, late great Napoleon Hill. And most of these quotes actually come out of the book Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich. So here's something to think about while we're talking about leadership or managers. A good manager never fires people. I've heard this. He inspires people. And the other portion of it is people never go out of business, but businesses do go out of business. Now, let me just reiterate something here. A good manager never fires people. Well, that depends on what they do. But if there's somebody that's out there trying to do the right thing, I get where this quote's coming from. He inspires people, a manager inspires people. So you're not going to really be placed in that situation to let somebody go, unless, obviously, what we're going through right now. People are being furloughed. Some people, are on a temporary or permanent furlough, whatever that means. And then others have been let go. And I personally know people that right now are looking for employment or thinking about doing something, pivoting in a business or going a new direction, which is cool. But I just wanted to share all this with you on this Friday. I enjoyed it. And with that, always, always in Mark's message, before I say it, I hope everybody did have a very, very successful Friday. Take that, propel it into the weekend. Do spend some time with your significant other, your families, connect, have a great time, do some things around the house that you need to, guys. Even if it's edging, cutting the grass, whatever the case may be, fixing that leaky faucet, the toilet, just do it. All right. Now is the time, right? As they say. So, with that, I'm going to venture onward here on this Friday, the 28th. Be a leader, be a friend, and most important of all, be a service. Once again, this was Mark's message from Peachtree Corners, Georgia, the peachiest place on the planet. And I'm going to do it in baseball terms. In our approach, we're always, always, always going to what? Keep swinging for the fences because, and we have a comment, so I can't just run out. Every day is a good day. Yes, it is, Ron. Thank you for hopping on here before I hop off. I have to acknowledge Mr. Boston, Mr. Ron, Mr. Celtic, Mr. Red Sox, Mr. Bruin, Mr. Lobster. I'm still waiting for my lobster, Ron. I didn't get it. So feel free if you want to send me one. Very good gentleman here, Ron Goodwin. Goodwin Graphics. Yes, I will promote it. He's a good man. He deserves it. He treats all fairly. He is a guy that I would gladly work with. And Ron, I shared something here and you can chime in. A good manager never fires people, he inspires people. People never go out of business. What I said to that was obviously, if it's a good person, you don't want to let them go. We can't help what's happening right now in our world today with some of these companies, because some people are on furlough, they're letting them go. But if you want to add a comment to that, feel free. You missed all my quotes unless you caught them. But with that, guys, I truly am going to get out of here. And like I was saying, in baseball terms, keep swinging for the fences because, you could be a Carl Yastrzemski and together we can all king knock it out of the park. Once again, Mark's message, Peachtree Corners, Georgia. Have a fantastic weekend with your family. Yeah, there he goes. He says, hire slow, fire fast. There you go. See? Now that makes sense. Excellent point, my man. Excellent point. I love it. Yes. And when you do that, you're going to have that right person, that you're aligned together and you're going to grow together. They'll understand what you're trying to do. I think that's a great point. Thank you, Ron. But I really am going to get out of here now. So, with all that, have a fantastic weekend with your family, significant other. Do the things you're supposed to with your family. Hey, if you're like Ron, fix some stuff around your house, make some graphics, put a smile on people's face. Be happy. Just go out there and enjoy the process, as I say, and just go with the flow, everybody. Again, Mark's message, Peachtree Corners, Georgia. I will see you. Before I do that, not always easy to do. That's right. On Monday. And with that, I am out of here. Thank you so much, Ron, for hopping on. As always, your wisdom is A plus. Catch you Monday, everybody. See ya.